Hey, it's Sam. I often get asked about how I got started in the TV and film industry, visual effects, because it's a dream job for a lot of people. And it's been fantastic for me. I've been able to work in some Hollywood films. It's been very lucrative. I've been able to pay some of my freelancers up to £700 a day. And let me tell you, I was very happy to pay them that. I want to tell you a story of when it was not so sweet though, about a story that really made me. I'm going to take you back to 2008 now, and I decided to stop doing my job at the time, which was a good, honest job, which was stacking shelves in the supermarket, but I didn't see my future in it. So I wanted to go into filmmaking somehow, but I didn't know anyone. What I did was what a lot of people did, is I set myself up as a videographer, and I did small corporate films for like small to mid-sized companies. And the rest of my story is going to be about these two huge bags full of equipment that I had to drag around everywhere, especially around London through the underground. So in these bags, which by the way weighed as much as my own body weight, I had a camera, a big shoulder mounted one, lights, stands, tripods, cables, and all the other things that you need to go to somewhere and set up a miniature film studio. I remember taking these two huge bags around on my own, and the reason why I had to take them on my own is because I was rubbish at setting prices back then. I think I was charging clients about 80 to 90 pounds a day, and for that I'd turn up with like a full film studio. So that was not good, but it also meant that I had to do everything solo because I couldn't afford to have an assistant to come and help me as well. I have learned a lot since then, but this is the story back in 2008. Now, apart from the camera, I'd saved up for my shelf stacking job to buy these lights, who, by the way, they were called redheads, and they used to have these bulbs in them that just used to explode randomly and scare everyone. It gave me a lot of anxiety. I was paranoid. I was very glad when I could throw those away. So I bought the lights, bought the tripod, the stands, cables, all those things. The one thing that I couldn't afford to buy was the camera. So I went and found a good used deal on a JVC GY HD 111E. I never forget the model number of that camera. And this is why I'll never forget it, because I could never afford it. And my family at the time were in a very bad financial situation. But my father could see that I was very passionate about filmmaking, that it was going to be my future. He couldn't afford this camera, £1,500 it cost back in 2008, but somehow he scraped the money together to go and buy me this camera in an act of pure fatherly love. If I didn't get that camera, if he didn't get it for me, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today. So even though he couldn't afford it and things were really bad, like living hand to mouth and such, somehow he pulled it off, and he's not around anymore. But I'm very grateful that he did that. We often get tested, not when we're at our strongest, but when we're at our weakest. Anyway, I was put all of that in these two bags. It was like it was a 2-wheel bags. So it makes it a bit easier, but you still got to take the heft of these things. And I get these gigs in London, and then I have to go and take the underground there. And I take the underground struggling with these two massive bags. Each one was about as big as me, really. And I take them around, and then of course the escalators would always be out of order on those days, and have to drag them up there on my own. People would be knocking into me. I go to the turnstiles, trying to get them through there because the big gates, of course, wouldn't be working that day. So all these things used to conspire against me. And I did that for a few years, and it gave me a really good basis in doing everything. And then eventually, through constant networking, I was able to meet someone who took a chance on me and gave me my first chance in television. I did a great job on that first job, and then one job led to two, and then two jobs led to four. And then the rest is history. So thanks to my father and a lot of persistence from myself, that is how I made my start in the TV and film industry.